Welcome to TradingLounge and the European indices. We're going to start with some German stocks here, and this is the Deutsche Bank here on a daily chart. So you can see that obviously we've been in a very strong downtrend, and we knew that we were coming to the end of this particular downtrend because we had this triangle pattern here, which is always triangles occur in fourth waves. So we knew that it was the end of the structure once the fifth wave had moved in. Of course, we've got the Brexit situation here, but as I mentioned before, if because it was just a news event as such, which is important as well, but if I blank out that here, then we've got the nice 1 and 2 and 3. Well, 3 down to here rather, because we take that out, 3 and 4 and 5 here, and it works quite nicely like that. And one of the main points here is that that most of the stocks in Germany, all the main ones, are doing much the same thing here, in that we're looking at the first little 5 waves up through the top here. We're looking for a corrective pattern and then another move to the upside here. So really, we can consider this here wave 1 and wave 2 are in play, and then wave 3 here, and so on. Now, so look, that's pretty much it really. So when we go to a 15-minute chart here on, was it an hourly chart we were working on with this one? I can't remember now. Hourly will do the trick. So when we're looking at this bank here, and this is pretty much the same for the DAX as well here, and the FTSE, and so on and so on. Now, different stocks and different indices within this group are obviously going to be doing different things, and we know that we're at corrective patterns. Be it the stock 50 or the DAX. Stock 50 is under a major level at 3,000, and the DAX is above 10,000, a major level. This particular bank here is working across the 13 here. So each one is doing their own thing, but at the same time, they're all pretty much similar, and even the FTSE is similar in its own way as well. So yeah, look. This is sort of where we are with it. There's other counts that we could use on this one as well. We could also have wave 3 over here, and wave 4 here, and wave 5 here, and have wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and then have this as wave 1 here and wave 2 pulling back here, and then moving off here. So some stocks will be leading and some will be following. But the main point is that the way that I see it is that we're in quite a good position now, because we do have, in one way or another, we do have 5 waves up here. Okay, so the other point is that we know that we got resistance across the top here. So really, all we have to do is nothing. Really, is just set an order, above this high here, to click in for the first long position, and this will be the same with most stocks as well. So when we have a look at Commerzbank is the other one. So if we look at it like this here, we've been working through this, of course. So this one here is more shapely. It's got a better form and so on than the DAX. And this is why I brought them in early, because, we're not going to get a bull run without the banks. They've got to supply the money to it. So basically, we'd been looking at the first 5 waves up here for the Commerzbank here, and then just trying to figure out, we had a long position going across the top here. If this top got taken out here, then we could bring it down to the B wave here, and now that the C wave is more developed here. So this market is actually sort of leading in a way, even though it's been in a correction longer than the other ones. What it has done is it has formed this better shape here for wave 1, pulling back to the 50-60% mark here. So there's no reason why this one can't lead to the upside. We got to count 5 waves in wave C here, which would be roughly the same length as wave A. Maybe it's got a bit more to come down. I don't know, but the main point is that we can go long above this high here, or we can just use a straight trend line through here. In one way or another, we want to see some effort made to go up and break some sort of resistance before getting in here. And of course you could buy on the low here too, but obviously that's going to be more risk as well. So it's something that you need to think about. But what I'm just going back to the main point here is that the Deutsche Bank, the Commerzbank, and many other stocks have got this pattern off the low here. So if we look also at Daimler, which is another large stock as well, as you know, it's the same thing as well. We've got the spike here, which I just, if I just ignore it, which is probably ignorant of me, I don't know, but we all see things in different ways, and we all learn in different ways. And for me, if it wasn't there, this is the main little journey here. Obviously there's a reason for it, but I can't be bothered finding it. But the main point here is that we have our 5 waves up here. And obviously Daimler's like is way behind the other ones, because the other, like the Commerzbank, has already got the A, the B, and the C in place here. So maybe this one won't pull back as far, or we've missed these, or I've missed the point here where we could already have wave 1 and 2 in here, and then wave 1 here and wave 2 here coming into play here. So just sort of looking around at different possibilities with all of this, but they will all tie in together at some stage here. So also too, there's Bayer is another one as well. Now it may be leading in in front of the banks as well. Obviously it's a large stock, and it's got its own sort of pathway in life. And in this case here, we can see that from the low here, we can look at this as wave 1 here. The wave 2 here has pulled back to its 50% mark here. This little move up here doesn't appear to be 5 waves. It appears to be corrective. So maybe I'm not reading it right. Maybe it's all squashed up, but I can see it as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave to here. So maybe it's got to push up from here. But if it does push up from here, it does give us a trigger as well in 2 ways, because 3 really. Number 1 is we're above 90, which is the closest largest number, and then we move into group 1, which is 1, 2, and 3 here. So if we get a nice support on group 1 this time round, we will be going higher. So we can go long if this is breached here. If you go long here, then you could be into trouble, because we might end up with more of a wave C coming back down here as a larger A, B, and C wave here. So it's critical that only go long if this top is taken out here, and that will represent some sort of support on top of group 1. Like I mentioned, we could get sucked in here and end up down here with this. So be very careful about that. But that top taken out here. So a lot of these stocks are showing their way as such. If I go to the FTSE now, it's the same thing with the FTSE as well. Now, the FTSE, we've got it labelled like this here, with this wave 2 low in here. However, the same thing exists though. We've got wave 1 here, wave 2 here, and then we've got 5 waves up for wave 3 and 4. And we can put wave 5 here for wave 1, or it's just as fitting to, so it would be an A wave and a B wave here and a C wave down here a bit, and then moving off from there. It has made a new high above here, so it would be possible to also count this as, if I can just move these over a little bit here, just to put them out of the way here. So it's possible to have this as wave 4 here, and wave 5 here, and wave 5 here of wave 1 here, and then we're looking at the A, the B, and the C wave here as well. So once again too, with the FTSE, you would only go long if this top was taken out here, such on this one. So yeah, look, in one way or another, we're sort of there. And also with the DAX as well here. If just forgetting about this wave 1 and 2 here, if we just ignore that a little bit in terms of looking at the banks as such. So if I just move these out of the way here, and this can even possibly go here, this doesn't bother me too much. I kind of want to just, in a way, just sort of forget about it in a sense and just focus on this particular structure that we've got here. And we've looked at it in a few different ways. Now, if I look at it with the US markets, then we would look at this as a wave 3 here and a wave 4 here. If we look at it in terms of what the banks are doing and what the FTSE is doing, then we would look at it as wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and we would move these over to the side here somewhat here. Now, on this one here, this is also a little bit messy as well here. So the main point here, I guess, because we've got a bit of a mess here, we've got to, it was just not clear. So, if we go back to some of the main points here, and one of the main points is here is that, when we're arriving here, I said at 10,000 here, the swing range for the correction is from 10.3 down to 9.8 here. So whatever happens in this can be a trap, and that's still the case as well here. So it's only when the top of group 1 here, the 3 here, makes a nice solid tested support here that we can actually go in terms of the trading levels, and a safe trade to go long would be on the 10.3 here. Anything in this space here would be open for a corrective pattern. Now, if we follow the US markets, like I mentioned, then we would have wave 3 here and wave 4 here and here. And that's fine too. But the European markets looking off their lows, then we would really look at this as wave, being wave 1 here and wave 2 here. So we have to ask ourselves, is the DAX, this is a bit like the Deutsche Bank, this particular market, not so much like the Commerzbank here. So there's a couple of variations that we sort of need to work through here. On the 15-minute chart for this one here, this is slightly another way to count it, but this could also be wave 1 over here and wave 2 over here. So this move down through here, we know that was corrective. We noted that yesterday or the day before, whatever. And this move up here, we were looking for 5 waves up here, but we just don't have it. It's not there on the cash either, because in the charts that we put out, we were looking for wave 1 and 2, then up for 3 here, back for 4 here, and then one more move up for wave 5 here, and then the corrective move here. So this here essentially was looking for, let's just call this wave 1 here for the time being, and then an ABC back looking for wave 2. But this extra wave hasn't come in here. So at this stage, if this drops down here, which I'd expect it to do, because we got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, currently it's only 3 waves down. So until this low is taken out here, we could actually have this extra high here. So we have to be careful here. If it drops down here, then we've got our 5 waves here. And then we can either look at, once we've got our 5 waves, we can look at it as I've got here as a wave, a B wave here, and a C wave here, and then straight up from that point. But we really wouldn't be able to buy unless we had some support on 10.2 here as the first instance, and then the 61.8% mark from this high here to this low here would need to be above that as well here. So we can get in here, but it would be risk, because the other thing here, this would be the A wave, a B wave back to the 61.8%, and then down here again. So we're still in messy territory here, and I think that it might be a good idea to have a look at the US markets as well. The Dow Jones has really got the best count, clearest count here, in that we have wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 and wave 4. Now, the 38.2 retracement is still lower here. I wouldn't expect it to come this far down, because none of the other corrections have actually come down to their to their correct level. So wave 2 here hasn't pulled back 61.8%, for example. Also 2 here, wave 2 is simple as it should be, but it's actually very simple. It's almost like a straight line, isn't it? So this would, even though this is a simple ABC here, it's complicated compared to this one here. And maybe on the 2-hour chart here, I mean, it's good to know where things are, So the S&P 500 has got more of a complicated count here, but in this one here, it's really quite simple. It's just the A, the B, and the C wave here. And a C wave would have 5 waves in it. So if we go to the 15-minute chart, I'm pointing this out because the other markets are going to, in their own way, follow this, aren't they? So we've got a nice A wave here, a B wave here, and looking at this as the C wave coming down here. So seeing this rejected at 18.5 here, and then a move down here to finish here, and this will be the same length as this one here, then we'll move up from that point. So just looking at this little bit here with this, really nice sort of count here, because this is what I've really applied to the DAX as well. Even though it's messy, this can be quite helpful using this other market here. So really looking at the A wave here, the B wave here, and then looking at 5 waves, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So it could actually finish here and then move up from here. And as I mentioned, in a bull market, it's much safer, generally speaking, if you buy new highs. Now, you can do that long as you don't overtrade. So whatever you normally trade, just trade 25% of that or 30% of that. Keep it really small so you can accommodate it, because you need to be on the right side of the trend, and being with the trend, you can afford to make mistakes as long as you haven't overtraded. So look, basically we're not out of the woods here yet, but this is how the general markets are looking. So there is opportunity emerging now that we can buy stock in Europe as such, looking a little bit sort of chirpier there. Alrighty, cheers.